And we are live at 9. James Phillips here. Got a special guest this morning, Andrea Phillips, as always on Wednesday, right?
Hello, hi, audience.
And then Miss Laurie Hoover is a guest, and she's a breast cancer survivor, but there's so much more to your story. Like, you've got so many things we could talk about for sure.
That's right.
But since it is October and Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we thought we'd have Laurie in here to tell her story about that.
Right. Well, Andrea, you go ahead and kind of make an introduction of Miss Hoover, kind of how you know her, how you came about inviting her in.
Okay, so when I first found out I had breast cancer, I met with our pastor, Adam, at Desperation Church, and he told me that I needed to talk to Laurie Hoover, and not too long after that, Laurie came up and introduced herself to me. So that's how I got to know her and learn her story. And so, Laurie, would you tell us about how you first got diagnosed with breast cancer? And go ahead.
Right. I went with Dr. Hagler here locally, and I had some pain in my side. And I mean, they did every test they could do here. And she said, I'm going to send you to the breast clinic at UAB. My mom and my sisters all had breast cancer. Everybody in her family, all the girls had breast cancer and passed away. My mom's still living. She's 94, lives here in Jasper. But I went up there, and they scheduled to do an MRI with contrast, ultrasound, and a mammogram. Well, I've never had good luck here in Jasper with a mammogram. Every year they called me back, and they keep saying, well, you know, you've got dense breasts. That's the whole problem, and we can't see very well. So I went up there, and lo and behold, they found, not with a mammogram, they found that I had invasive lobular carcinoma in my left breast, which is the opposite side of where my pain was. And they couldn't feel it at all, but they did find it with the MRI. And they did a biopsy. That's how they found out what it was. And then they scheduled surgery. It was about a month before I found out and got to surgery.
That was fairly quick.
Yeah, it was. Dr. Parker at UAB was our surgeon. We've used my daughter-in-law's used her before. We're just really, big on her. She's a really great physician. And
Is that at the
at UAB.
At UAB.
Yes, but I actually had my surgery at Callahan.
Oh, okay.
The second floor they use now as a surgery suite, so that's basically what I went there for it. But it grew 3 times the size of it in 1 month, and so it was very big growing.
It is very aggressive.
And I know it was the Lord that sent me there, because there'd been no way I would have went up there. I mean, I have no relationships with those doctors up there until then, and now I have every doctor up there. So that's how that happened. Afterwards, I had radiation, and they fit you into a mold over there so you can't move. Mine is right above my heart, and they were very, very technical. So of course I did that at UAB too, at the radiation center up there. And I didn't really get burned. I was pink, but I didn't get burned because I used goat's milk lotion, and that really did help me. So after the radiation, I just came back 2 weeks ago from a mammogram, and my sister goes with me because she has fought the battle 3 times now, and that's after having a mastectomy.
Yeah.
She got it again, and within 6 months.
So she had the mastectomy, and then 3 months later she had it again?
Yes, and so
Oh, my goodness.
it was underneath her skin, above her breast where the mastectomy was, and underneath her arm. And so they did that surgery, and they wanted to do radiation again. And she said, no, you told me that we're not supposed to have it twice in the same place. So she's taken she did take it's a chemo pill for people that have had recurring breast cancer in the last 6 months.
Okay.
And I've seen it advertised on TV. She has to go every month and get her blood drawn and make sure that she's still, because it can affect your liver and, other parts of your body. Any kind of medication will do that. But she's actively, taking that, and they didn't find cancer, but like I said, her MRI that's when they found her cancer, not with a mammogram either.
Okay.
So I tell people, go get a mammogram, but if you think there's something not right,
Yeah.
or if you've got breast cancer in your family, please go get an MRI, because it showed very clearly. And then she had to have a PET scan, because she'd had it a couple places, and they thought, well, what if it's moved?
Yeah.
So she had a PET scan, and they did show another piece that didn't show up in the MRI. That was the one underneath her arm, and they took that out too. But she's cancer-free right now,
That's
and
great.
thank God I am too.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes.
Well, like you said, if you have dense breast tissue, it won't show up
No.
with a mammogram.
No.
So, yeah, the MRI, if you have dense breast tissue, I would say definitely get one of those.
Right.
And then, like you were saying, with the radiation with her, I had a very terrible time with my radiation. And if hopefully that I do not ever get cancer again, but I don't know that I would do the radiation again, because it was terrible.
Yeah.
But and then you said yours is up above your heart. They have to take really careful precautions
Yes.
because it could burn
Right.
your heart with
Yeah,
those.
or my lungs too.
Yes, or your lungs.
So, they put you in this mold that they make of you up on 280 at UAB, and then they bring it over, and every time you come in every day, they have it set there that you have to be, and they're so precise with their measurements. I mean, there are 3 or 4 people scooting you around, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't really get burned or anything, because
Yeah.
I do think that lotion helped.
Uh-huh.
But my sister, she was burned so terribly here in Jasper, where she had her radiation. It busted her open. She got infected. Had to wait for several weeks to get the rest of it, and then within 6 months she had cancer again.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
I don't know. It works for some people, I think, but for others, I don't know. If I wouldn't have it again, I can tell you that.
Yeah, you
I
just
wouldn't.
never know. And
No.
Yeah. What else, James?
Well, I would like to know more about your family history, because that's something with Andrea. She had a family history of breast cancer, and so as soon as she really, she's thought over the years, she's always kept a watch and felt and things like that, and always thought, well, I might have something, but she never really did think she had anything. And when she felt this lump that she had last year, it was like an automatic. There's something different here.
Yeah.
I knew automatically that there was something different, but yeah, like my aunt on my dad's side had breast cancer, and then she ended up dying from that. And then her daughter had breast cancer, and then my aunt on my mother's side and her daughter, my cousin, both had breast cancer. So it was like, that thing in the back of your head, you're just waiting for it to come.
Right.
And
It's not, what if you get it, it's when
you get it, yeah.
I mean, I was really never afraid of any of it. I mean, I knew God was going to protect me. My dad had colon cancer when he was probably 45 years old. They took out part of his colon, radiation. He was fine. And then 25 years later, he was up here. We moved from Michigan, because that's where we're from Flint, Michigan. He worked, my mom and dad worked for General Motors, retired, and they moved up here, and he was getting some tests done for his shoulder. He had actually tore his rotator cuff, and Dr. Gary Russell, that was here at Southern Orthopedic, said there's something wrong. So he did a test into his bone marrow by his knee, and said, you need to go to UAB. So that's how they found his. He was stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and they could not find it here in Jasper.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Couldn't find it.
Oh my goodness.
He walked in the room, because I took everybody to every treatment up there at UAB, but he had lymph glands as big as a baseball, and they could not find it here.
Oh my goodness.
And so, stage 4, you're just going, oh no, this
Stage
is the
4
worst.
is not something you want to hear.
And so he did do the chemo, and it was really rough on him. I think he could only take 7 treatments out of 9, and of course no radiation, because it's all over in your lymph nodes. And he was cancer-free. 3 years later, they didn't want to keep doing PET scans on him, because he was 88 years old, but he acted like a 6-year-old. I mean, he never sits down. He never sat down. So we begged him to get a new PET scan, because when you got lymphoma, it's all over.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't feeling bad, but just they did that once a year just to make sure he was okay. And we had a new doctor because our doctor moved to Washington. And so this doctor wasn't familiar with him. And you see an old man and you think, no, we're not doing that.
Right.
But they did do that and found out it was in his colon again, and it had already metastasized to his liver.
Oh, no.
So he took the chemo pill for 18 months. It started growing again, and they sent him home. And he was never in pain, never sick from the chemo pills, not one day.
Uh-huh, that's great.
And he passed away when he was 90. It wasn't from the cancer. He got pneumonia from a nurse that brought it into the home.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, no.
So that's his story. Now, my mom they've lived here 20 years now. My mom's 94, but she can run circles around me. She takes no medicine, nothing. And we actually found the breast cancer when she moved down here. I said, let's go to the OBGYN, and we used Dr. Bruner, love her to death, and get our mammograms, and she got one. And I went to Brazil on a missions trip with the church and found out the day I got back that my mother had breast cancer surgery
Oh, my goodness.
while I was gone.
Oh,
And
my
she
goodness.
wouldn't tell my other two sisters either. And, I was not real happy with that because
Yeah.
that's just not what you do, but she didn't want to worry me, so she didn't tell me.
Yeah.
Now, she did do radiation, and she's been cancer-free for over 20 years now, so
Oh,
she's
wow.
doing really good.
That's really
Yes,
good.
and so my dad, as soon as my dad passed, and it was during COVID, okay, so we didn't know really if that nurse brought in COVID or was it pneumonia.
Yeah.
And they were going to do a test, and then I said, he's got pneumonia. I've seen it before, that's what he's got. So that didn't work out with him. But with my mom, she's been doing fine. And then we went to UAB, my youngest sister and I. Now, she's 6 years younger than me. And they didn't find anything in her mammograms down here either.
Oh, goodness.
So, goodness, we went up there, and she got the same test, and they found hers.
Oh, goodness.
It was not the same kind that I
I
had.
say, what kind did she
It was
have?
not the same kind. It wasn't a fast-growing one.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Parker took it out, and then told her that they didn't get beyond the margin, so she had to go back in not too long after that and get the rest of it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then she went through just radiation, and she was fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that was during COVID, too. My dad was still alive when she found out she had it.
Uh-huh.
And so she came home, and she was doing good for about a year, and she got it again.
Oh,
And
goodness.
when they did the biopsy, they said, this is really weird, but now you've got the same kind that I had, the invasive lobular carcinoma.
So it was a different,
Yes,
came back a different
of
kind.
And we had a genetic test done there, and we had I didn't have any markers, and she did.
Yeah.
So she said that's very rare.
I had the genetic testing done for family, and I did not have any markers.
Yeah, so I
But she was diagnosed
But I had
with
cancer at the same time. I
and
had
didn't
that.
have any markers.
Yeah.
That made no sense at all.
well, that's the way they did mine, too, and I'm
Yeah.
going, well, how can it say that?
Yeah.
You know?
How can that be?
It didn't make sense, but when she found it the first time, she thought, we all thought she's fine, just, and then when it came back again, the doctor gave the option if she wanted to do a mastectomy or just a lumpectomy, and I said, Michelle, come on now, this is long enough, it can come back, and so she did have the mastectomy, and we took her up to Forge and got her all fitted for some wigs and
Yeah.
she got some really nice stuff up there in Birmingham. They were a godsend.
They
Pretty
do. They
scarves and
have
hats. Yeah.
wigs, and if you can't afford to get yourself a wig, they have a room where you go in and pick out a wig. So, yeah, they have a lot of
Yeah.
things for you.
And they help also with, I know they helped us with gas cards to,
Yeah.
to go
To
back,
get
and
back
forth.
and forth,
that sort
yeah.
of thing.
Mastectomy bras,
Uh-huh.
even swimming suits. I was kind of, I took her there too. Of course. I take care of everybody. I do I knew, quite a bit of medical stuff. I was in school for 2 years for that too. But when she got it back for the third time, after she just had the mastectomy, it was like, you got to be kidding me. And if you don't have an implant, which she is going to be 60 years old next week,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't want them, and I don't blame her.
Yeah.
But she said, I do need to go get a bra. And they gave her 3 or 4 bras. And she just went up a few weeks ago and got 2 more to replace them with. But that's such a good place to go because they helped a lot of people that could not afford, to buy it or didn't even know where to go
Yeah.
to get one. And she's comfortable, you never know by looking at her, but
Yeah.
she is now taking that pill since they took out the cancer the 3rd time. That is going to be an inhibitor for her not to get breast cancer again because she had got it recurring within 6 months.
Uh-huh.
So she's taking that now. It's been about 6 months. She goes back every month to get her blood tested, make sure everything is in order, and she's doing really well now.
Great.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. My aunt, when she had the double mastectomy, she's about not want me to talk about this, but she worried about that, she didn't have the reconstruction. And then later on she thought, well, maybe I should have had the reconstruction because it did bother her. I know for some women it don't really bother them, but then other women it does.
How old is she?
She's 76,
Oh,
I
my.
think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is your femininity when you.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
how
you look at it,
she's looked at it like that.
But if it's going to save your life,
Yeah.
that my daughter-in-law, that's why she did her double mastectomy. And then she had to have, well, first she did chemo. Of course, that didn't shrink it. She had her double mastectomy. Then you got to wait because they put spacers in you, and you got to wait till that heals. And then, like several months, I'm going to say maybe 6 months later, she had her implants. And then that took a lot. It was like a 2-year process altogether.
Yeah.
From start to finish. And this has been 7 years, and she went it was in the middle of the summer. She went up there, and one of hers had started leaking.
Oh, okay.
So she had to take them out, had them taken out, and put new ones in. And then she got allergic to the glue that they use.
Oh, my goodness.
And my sister had that too. She was terrible. I mean, infected terribly. And I mean, that even stopped her from being able to go to work. When you're messed up from one side to
Yes.
the other
That's
because
gotta
they
be
put implants,
horrible.
that was horrible. It's a good thing. She's young. She's only 40 years old. But at the time, she was 31.
Oh,
And to
goodness.
find breast cancer when you have nobody in your family on either side.
Uh-huh.
My mom's 2 sisters both died with breast cancer. My dad's 3 brothers died of colon cancer, just like he did.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
I've had 2 cousins with leukemia that passed away. I'm sure there's more out there. I think the older that we get as women, in my side of the family, that's when we get it. It's after menopause or during that. It's not like a younger,
Yeah.
person. It's 50s,
Yeah.
60s, and that's when mine was too. I'm 66, and it was 4 years ago. So,
Yes. So that's something your children or grandchildren will have to need to be getting
Absolutely.
tested and
Yeah. yeah, that if you don't, you're in trouble.
I'm giving you a hand signal. Andrea doesn't understand my hand signal.
That means right.
It's time to take a break.
Okay.
So we're going to take a break. I want to remind everybody this is James and Andrea Phillips on Live at 9, and our guest today is Miss Laurie Hoover. She's a local breast cancer survivor who she's been through it herself, but a lot of family members have been through different types of cancer. And when we get back, I'd like to talk a little bit about your reaction to, our family's been through a lot of things. Your family's been through a lot of things. How do you keep going so strong for people to see? I think that's a good thing
Yeah.
to let people know. So we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be right back on Live at 9. And we are back. James Phillips here this morning on Live at 9. James and Andrea Phillips, and our guest is Laurie Hoover. She's a local breast cancer survivor. And Laurie, you were talking before we went to the break about all the different people in your family who have been diagnosed with cancer. Some you've lost, some are still alive and are survivors. What has it been like? Do you ever just get in the downdrams and think, oh my goodness, again, somebody else in the family's got cancer? Or do you always stay positive?
You have to stay positive. If you don't, I mean, you're not even helping yourself off really out, because if you have a good attitude and you know that the Lord strengthened your body, that you beat it, I really do believe that, God's going to take care of you. And I try to tell women in the church, I don't even know some of the women in the church, but I find out they've got cancer, and I always go up and talk to them and tell them, if you ever need anything, I can maybe sometimes get them from point A to B and tell them where to go, what to expect, because it was all new to me, and I didn't have anybody tell me.
Yeah.
I mean, I see my mom go through it, but she didn't have the kind that I had. And I mean, they did the surgery, took it out, did a little bit of radiation, and she was done. And she's been fine for over 20 years now. So, but I think a lot of people, they're scared to death. Kind of, I was too. I mean, when you hear the word cancer in my family, it wasn't, what if, it's when I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have an older sister in Michigan that she's 5 years older, and I've just told her again, go get your mammogram, go get checked again, because it can happen to anybody. My daughter-in-law, nobody in her family, nobody on either side of her family had breast cancer, and she found hers at 31 years old and had to have a double mastectomy. Surgery, chemo, radiation, all the things. And, she's a big advocate now to help people, because she even goes to focus groups still at UAB. She was a nurse practitioner there for many years, and now she's moved out to Carpenter Hill at the school. But she taught a lot of people, and she kind of helped me too get through it, even though mine was different than hers. I knew what to expect. And I think just anticipating the worst, that's what a lot of people do. And I try to tell them, it's not that bad. You can get through this. You've got people praying for you.
Right.
You've got several people in our church have had breast cancer, or their family has. And as long as you get the details, that's what I'm about. I did have a couple years of medical school, so I understand when the doctors are talking to me what to do, what not to do. Diet was very, very helpful.
Right.
I mean, we were grown up to eat real food, raised fresh, and that's how we eat. So that is some of it, but it's not everything. I think a lot of it's environmental. It's hard telling. And I mean, people that's worked maybe in factories before, or you can see our veterans. I mean, there's a lot of things out there that can cause cancer. They're just finding out.
Oh, yeah.
That they didn't know years ago. Both of my grandpas died with lung cancer when I was just like 10 years old, and they didn't know then what they know now.
Yeah.
And, it goes from there, and I see, people smoking, and I'm going, now that they know it's so bad, why do they still pursue that?
Yeah.
It's like you're just ready for that time bomb to start ticking, because cancer's not fun.
No.
I mean, there's no part of this that you enjoy. Just, going through even the testing, the biopsy was not easy, but it was necessary to know. And I actually had to have a biopsy the year afterwards, because they thought they did see something else on the MRI. It was benign, but now you still keep thinking that every time I go to UAB to get those tests, in the back of your mind, you're still thinking, what if they can't find it? And especially with us, since we got to go for MRI. We go every year to UAB, and we get the MRI, and it's with contrast. So I feel very comfortable doing that, because it's seeing more than what, even an ultrasound can't see it, or a mammogram couldn't see it. A lot of times the MRI will. And that's with us with dense breast. But everybody in my family all have that. So I've got great aunts and uncles. All of them have died with breast cancer for the women, and mostly colon cancer or lung cancer for the men. So, just knowing things to do, little help. Like, I used goat milk lotion on my skin, and it never burned.
Yeah.
And the doctor kept asking me, what are you doing? Goat's milk lotion.
Yeah.
It's pure. It's got lanolin in it. There's no chemicals, no coloring. And, you go back to nature and you think, what did grandma use,
Yeah, that's true.
Some of those things, if you just think and do a little studying on,
Oh,
will
yeah.
really help you.
If God
Yeah.
created it and grandma used it,
Yes,
it's pretty good.
And all the medicines that they have now, I do still believe that a lot of these people that are not just giving you pharmacy, prescriptions, but they're doing things naturally.
Right.
Yeah.
Her herbs and, oils and a lot of that can heal.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, definitely so.
Ivermectin, when President Trump was talking about that when COVID was going through. I'm a German Shepherd breeder, has been for 30 years in Birmingham, in Alabama here in Jasper, but we use that on our dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a wormer, yeah, we use it on our dogs, but it also, before that, won the Nobel Peace Prize for adults because it healed them. And
Right.
see, things like that, there are things you go back to nature and with just very few chemicals or no chemicals in it, just putting different spices and oils and different things together, it can cure a lot of things.
Oh, yeah,
And
definitely.
especially topical
Yeah.
creams. We have friends that use ivermectin and they had cancer pretty bad on their
Mm-hmm.
skin. It was gone within 3 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never
not
had
like-
to have any surgery or
we had
anything.
a friend to tell Andrea when she was going through radiation to try frankincense. The
Oh, yeah, I
frankincense
use-
is
I
natural.
use frankincense oil,
That's
yes.
a good one too.
And that
It
really
was good
seemed
for
to help.
healing, yes.
Yeah, that's good for healing.
And that was one thing that we wanted today to be about, was to offer some kind of tips like
Right.
that too, for people that may not have heard them. I think the biggest thing too that you mentioned was just finding people, like if you get a diagnosis of cancer, luckily I've never had that diagnosis, but I've had to go through my wife having
Right.
it. You think the worst. You
Yeah,
always
you
think
do.
the worst. But if you can find other people who have been through this and battled it and fought and came out on the other side,
Right.
it's such a great feeling just to have those people in your corner.
Right, it's like we're their cheerleaders.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'll go check on people all the time. Every time, I've seen you at UAB a couple
yeah.
of times already.
Yeah.
When we were up there at the same time, her getting chemo and both of us, still going to all the doctors like
Yeah.
we do. But,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, if you get some people together that are really, you trust them and you've seen maybe what they went through, maybe you haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some ladies at church last year that I never met in my life, but when we prayed over them because they had cancer, either in one of my ladies' small groups or in the prayer service on Wednesday nights, I would go to them and say, hey, I can help you through this.
Yeah.
Here's what you're going to do. It's not that scary. I'm not going to say there's no pain because, of course, there is any kind of surgery.
Right.
And the radiation didn't hurt me. It does hurt. It's hurt, my sister and that. But it's just if you do those little things, use the oils, use the essence oils, use things like that, it can help you
Yeah.
to not have the pain that you could have had. If they just tell you to take Aquaphora, that is the worst thing they can tell you to do because it's not a cream.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a Vaseline and it seals it. So that's not a good.
Yes,
that's
I
not
will
a good
say that my
suggestion.
doctor was big on the Aquaphor, and I
Yeah.
used the Aquaphor, and I burnt
Yeah,
severely.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't
Yes.
use it. I bought it, I thought, no, this is not gonna help me.
Right.
You need a lotion that's calming, that will soothe your skin, not entrap it and.
Yeah, it seemed like
entrap
it
the heat
does
in there.
entrap the heat,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah,
I just want to remind everybody we're talking to Miss Laurie Hoover today. She's a breast cancer survivor, and Andrea's in co-hosting with me today. And Andrea's a brand new breast cancer survivor as well. Now, one thing, Miss Laurie, that anybody who goes to Desperation Church would know you as, you're the lady who does the sign language at the
Yes.
front of the service during the second service.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your history with sign language, and because you don't find that in a lot of places
No,
now these
no.
days.
Our pastor told us there's only one church in Walker County, not just Jasper, that's got an interpreter, and he's actually deaf himself. He's a pastor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I started when I was 5 years old at Great Lakes Baptist Temple in Flint, Michigan, where I grew up. And that was where Michigan School for the Deaf was. And I had a friend at church that had her brother was deaf, and I, kept watching her sign him. I thought, that's pretty cool. I actually learned it from her, and we used to stand up in junior church with 100 kids looking at us doing sign language to Jesus Loves Me, and and all the songs that you'd sing down there back then.
Yeah.
And we had over 100 deaf adults in our services. So one of the teachers that actually teaches at Michigan School for the Deaf, she actually did the services. When I always sat there and watched her for a couple of years. I mean, I was only 5, 6 years old, but when I got to be about 10 years old, she knew that I had learned enough, that I just watched her, that I could do some of the songs. So that's how I started. When I was a junior in high school, I started going to University of Michigan and taking night classes for sign language. And I found out I was teaching, my senior year, I was teaching at Michigan School for the Deaf, and there were 2 4th grade classes that I taught, and they did lip reading there. There was no sign language.
Right.
Back then, you know, people didn't come out and show their kids, you know, oh, this, you know, I've got this, I've got that. They were almost embarrassed of it. They couldn't
Yeah.
even speak to their own children. But just like our school here in Birmingham for the deaf and blind, there were dorms there that people lived in. So we had a huge, you know, part of our town that was all deaf. So I went to school for 2 years, and that's just during high school. And then I went to college and finished all that. And by the second year of just teaching it in high school, you know, doing those things, I was an interpreter. So we did, you know, Wednesday nights, we did Sunday nights, Sunday mornings. We had a huge crowd there. And that's
Is that
really,
something you've always done since then as kind of a ministry?
Yes,
Yeah.
everywhere I've went. I teach classes every Monday night for anybody in the community. This is not just our church. We have a lot of people from all over. People come from Coleman doing it because it's free.
Yeah.
I do a basic class and an intermediate class at Bob Bryan's law office next door to the Civic Center,
Yeah.
next to Desperation Church, every Monday night.
Now, how can
And-
people sign up if they want to come?
We have a sign up in our community groups. You can do it that way, or you can just come in and we'll do it when you walk in. Because
Okay.
like I said, I've got people this last group, I only know one person in the whole group. Everybody, I have people coming from Coleman, from our Coleman church. Yeah, I have a pastor that's coming.
Wow.
He's 65 years old. So, I mean, you know, it doesn't, and then I've got 5-year-olds up to, you know, at any age, really. It's easy to learn. I teach it to every dog I train. I
Right.
train at least 2 or 3 dogs a day, not just my German Shepherds, but others. Every dog learns sign language.
Tell about your dog that
And-
has
and-
recently went deaf and
My best dog I've ever owned in my life, my German Shepherd, and if you know me, you know Jake. He was one of the best dogs we've ever known. I taught him, just like I teach every dog, sign language, and at 12 years old, he started going deaf. And that's not unusual for dogs, but he wasn't, I mean, he could feel vibrations and stuff. When I yelled, he could probably hear me some, but it wasn't like normal. And I started talking to him in sign language, and he knew everything I was saying because I've done it for so many years. I do that a lot. If people are coming up at my house trying to look at dogs and I don't know them, the dog will be right in front of me.
Right.
And he knows the signs. So when I tell him, you know, to wait or get back, it's okay.
Yeah.
He knows what I'm saying. But, I mean, if anybody tried to do anything that wasn't correct on my property, it would not be good.
Do you have sign?
you have a sign for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a sign for release the hounds?
Yeah, yeah. But they're so smart, I'm not just talking German Shepherds. I'm actually teaching one of our good friends that's the deputy in town a Chihuahua. They had one of my German Shepherds at 14 years old. She passed away, and he's got a Chihuahua now. So she's learning it just as well as, you know, any other dog. So
Hey, Chihuahuas can be pretty tough
they
too.
are,
And they're very
tough, but
smart.
They're smart.
Yes, they
They're
are
very
very
smart.
I'm
smart.
doing 2 right now. for
Oh,
people.
okay.
So yeah, you can bring any kind of dog today.
And so, how do people get in touch with you if they want advice on breast cancer, or if they want to learn sign language, or maybe if
they wanna buy a
they may
German
want to buy a German Shepherd from you?
But yeah. I
What's the
have
best way
litter
for
now.
people to track you down?
Usually you can text me or Facebook me. It's
Yeah.
Laurie Hoover, Laurie Hoover. Or you can go to our website. It's Dry Creek German Shepherds at gmail.com. I have my own email. It's dogladylmh@gmail.com. It's pretty easy, and
Yeah.
we'll start doing our small groups again pretty soon. And when they do, we advertise it for a couple weeks.
Right.
So if you're interested, I'll tell you when you can sign up and when it's going to start again.
Yeah, and you said you guys are kind of on the downward spiral for this
Yeah, we've
group.
got 2 more weeks left.
But then when you come back, you said that you typically teach a beginner and an advanced, or a beginner and an intermediate.
Yes.
But you may be adding an advanced
I'm going
group.
to add an advanced class because these people have moved up, and they're good enough right now. They can do songs because
Yeah.
they stand up and watch me, and they do it with me on Sunday mornings
Yeah.
in church. So it's just getting that fear, and I remember that. I mean, we had 1,000 people in my church.
Yeah.
And for a 10, 11-year-old get up there and do it, it's kind of, I was shy back then. I know you couldn't believe that, but I didn't talk very much back then. But yeah, you can get a hold of me.
Yeah.
And Andrea,
Yeah.
any of us can help you get on it. But it's Desperation Church. It's community groups, and it's for communities. It's
Right.
not just for
It's
our
not
church.
just for the church.
Yeah,
No.
and I've noticed a lot of the community groups, they have people from all types of churches, or even
Yes.
people who don't go to church.
That's right.
They still come and they get involved with some of the
Right.
community groups, because there's a lot of different things on there for people to do.
Oh, yeah. We've got probably like 80 community groups.
Yeah.
That's just around Jasper. Now, there's some that are, our
Oh, yeah.
Coleman campus and Hayden. They also have some, but, they're for the community.
Right.
To build, especially when we moved here, we didn't know a soul.
Right.
And it's like, I don't even know what church to go to.
Yeah.
So, you do the church hunting and you
Right.
find one and you get in it and everything and you get settled down. But there are a lot of people in town. There are even new people that coming in and they'll go, you'll see it on the Walker County page on
Right.
Facebook.
Yeah.
I always stand up for Desperation Church because I teach the kindergartens through 5th graders the first service and on Sundays, and then Wednesday nights I also teach it. So
Yeah.
and that starts at 6:30,
Yeah.
and that's at the Civic Center. It's Desperation Church. We are going to build a new church.
Yep.
We've got the property already, but it's going to take probably a couple years to get all that
Yeah.
going. get
It's
it
where the old
finished.
River of Living Water
Yes.
Methodist Church
Yes,
is at.
right across from Walker Diagnostics
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. But
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. And I typically wouldn't bring this up, but you being a little bit older age than what most people expect to see at Desperation too,
Right.
because everybody thinks it's just a young
No,
church.
oh, no.
But there are a lot of older people that go to Desperation.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
there
we
is.
have a small group now for 50 and older, which 50 is young to me. I'm 66,
Yeah.
but that's a long time ago. But we have different times. We're meeting, I think, in 2 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
We're meeting, this time it'll be at our church, that they're going to buy the food and everything, and we come.
Yeah.
We had one earlier this summer that was downtown.
I
at
think Andrea's mom
319.
has came to a couple
Yeah,
of them too.
yeah. And I couldn't make one of them because I had a doctor's appointment, but yeah, I'm going to go to this one. And, things like that. My mom don't really know a lot of older people because most of those friends that she's had has passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, we try to get as many people in the community as we can and
Yeah.
help them. I mean, if they need help, we're going to be the ones to try to help them because we've directed a lot of people to go here, go there,
Yeah.
try this place, just like they've done for me when we moved in. Everybody tries to help. So
Oh, yeah.
that's basically what any of the groups are for.
Well, that's the good thing about living in a small town like
It is.
like Jasper, is that you get to meet just about everybody, and it's such a welcoming place.
Right.
That everybody gets involved and joins in the community.
Right.
It's a cool place to live.
It is.
Well, anything else you want to add before we go for the day? Andrea, you got anything else?
No, I just thank Lori for coming
Oh,
in.
it's my privilege. I'm thankful for being asked.
Well, during this month, we were hoping, Andrea's coming on each Wednesday, and we were hoping to make each Wednesday a day where we kind of reach out and let people know things about us that we've been through, or people in the community. And so we wanted to invite somebody in for Breast Cancer Awareness Month this month. And we sure appreciate you coming in and telling your story.
Oh, I love it. Thank you for letting me have an opportunity to do that.
All right. Well, until tomorrow, tomorrow we got a special interview. One of our employees here, Jennifer, she has a doll collection, and she's actually interviewed the lady who created the dolls. She lives in Georgia. She's a 95-year-old who created these dolls. And then she has them now in her possession. So tomorrow we'll hear a little bit of the Georgia interview, and then I'll be interviewing Jennifer and tell a story about how these precious dolls scared most of us about a week ago. We
You'll
would
have to
call
tell
the
that
cops.
story.
There was plenty of drama going on around here that morning.
Oh, no.
We thought a doll may have been an individual who was either hungover or no longer with us.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we'll tell that whole story tomorrow. But until then, be kind and love, and we'll see you tomorrow on Live at 9 with James Phillips.